that actually wraps up our video demos, but now we wanted to show the Link 4K working with the PTZOptics SuperJoy.
So you did get that connected.
We did. Earlier today, I was like, so is the SuperJoy connected to the
Which was not, so
PTZOptics?
you must have gotten in there. What did you do? How did you get that connected?
It is. And so here's one thing I'll show right off the top. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the PTZOptics SuperJoy has a web interface of its own. So where this is the camera here, right? So the camera itself has a web interface. So does the joystick. And this camera, of course, is a Dante camera. And you can see here we have it set up we're using Dante AVH, the HD version. We could use the 4K, but figured today just for testing, we'll stick to HD. But this camera has an IP address. Let's see, where's that IP address? Yep. And it is 192.168.21.187. Every device on your network should have a IP address. Sometimes it's a DHCP address, meaning when it boots up, it gets an address from the router, and whatever that address is the address that it is, right? That's not really ideal when you are hard coding IP addresses into something like a PTZ joystick controller. So we got a fixed IP address or a static IP address, and we've copy and pasted that into channel 1 on the SuperJoy. Now you've got groups of 7. So we've got 5 groups of 7. So you can have 35 cameras into your SuperJoy. And so when I hit camera 1 on the SuperJoy, it loads this camera, and bada bing, bada bang, I'm controlling it, and it's working. Now, one of the cool things about the SuperJoy, and John, you're new to the show, so I'm going to go over this, even though I know we have talked about it in the past, is these custom buttons on the SuperJoy. There's 4 custom buttons, and what they allow you to do, and I'll go ahead and show this on the web UI, is you can set these up to trigger auto tracking. So you can say, hey, I'm controlling it manually. You know what? Now I want my camera to auto track, and boom, it'll start auto tracking. And you can have the button toggle. And what that means is the first time you click it, it turns auto tracking on. The second time you click it, it turns auto tracking off. And so it's that like kind of on off button functionality. The other thing that can be done with these custom buttons is you can set up a super preset. Are you familiar with the super preset, Des? Can you try to explain it?
Explain the super preset for me.
Okay, so the super preset, and Mike, I think the easiest way to explain this would be to show the web interface here. And there's a drop-down menu for super preset. And so you can do an HTTP trigger, and what that is essentially you can send an HTTP command. You can send a HTTP command to vmix to start streaming, to start recording, to do all kinds of things. So HTTP commands are great, but the super preset, what that does is that you can say, all right, I want up to, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cameras to move at the same time when I click this button. And so one of the ways a lot of our customers use this in houses of worship, for example, let's say a volunteer came in and they did a whole production and then they left. Well, one camera is zoomed into the baptismal area, another camera zoomed into some random stained glass window, and another camera's over there. Well, now you can click one button and they all just go back to a known location.
That is great.
Or let's say in John's scenario, you're doing a podcast and you want all 4 cameras to be close up, and then you're going to do a scene change, and then you click a button and then all 4 cameras go to another location. So there's a lot of different ways to configure and use the super presets.
Very cool.
So there we go.
John's asking a question that I think we just covered the answer with our custom HTTP command buttons, but he wants to know, is there a joystick controller with programmable buttons like a Stream Deck so you can name all the presets on buttons like third-party iPad app with a hardware joy?
Well, that's a great idea. I think some of the things that you said are available in the SuperJoy and some of the things that you said are not. Now, I will say that I did get a new Stream Deck, and this Stream Deck has knobs, and we have been playing with some of the options for using these knobs for tilting and panning and adjusting brightness and things. It's a pretty cool little new Stream Deck, and this does have that display. So Stream Decks are great for controlling our cameras, and we do offer the HTTP commands and programming opportunities for using the Stream Deck with our cameras.